Hello, Matrix, and welcome to the first lesson. My name is Nick, and I'm going to be taking you through the Matric math syllabus. So we're going to start with the number system, which might be a bit weird to you because that's not even in the Matric syllabus. We don't start studying that in Matric. However, we do use this number system, non-real and irrational numbers, especially when we're looking at the nature of roots. So that's the thing about Matric, is we didn't start studying for Matric in Matric. We started studying way back. This number system we started learning in grade 8. So some of the stuff is just second nature to you now, but you did learn it at some point. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the basics which you may not remember. For those of you who do remember, that's fine. You can skip ahead. I'll be doing exponents, surds, factorizing equations, and nature of roots in the next few lessons. And all of that makes up question 1 of paper 1. So after you've done this section of videos, you should be able to do all of the questions in paper 1. I'll be doing memos as well on past papers so that you can try and do a few past papers, number 1 on your own, and then you can check on the memo to see how you did. And if you didn't understand anything, hopefully the memos will help. So that's what we're going to do. So we're starting at the number system, and let's start with if a number is real or non-real. Okay, so if a number is real, we know that it technically exists. So, for example, the number 1, right? The number 0. Negative numbers. Anything that you put on your calculator. So if I put it on my calculator and I get an answer, it's a real number. Non-real numbers are things that don't exist, except in maybe AP Maths where we do imaginary numbers. But for our purposes, let's put a fraction into the real numbers as well. And we can put pi as well because that's real. E. Okay, all of these numbers are real. We can put them in our calculator and we get an answer. Non-real numbers are numbers that if you put it into your calculator, you get an error message. Although sometimes with this calculator, you get an I, which is an imaginary number, and so you can consider that non-real as well. So also when we divide by 0, right? So any number over 0 is non-real. Okay? And then irrational number is a number that can be expressed as a fraction. So any fraction. So if you get 0.3 recurring, that's actually a rational number because it can be expressed as 1/3. Okay, all our integers and our whole numbers and that all fall under the rational category. Whereas an irrational number, well, it can't be expressed as a fraction. So that is like a surd, which isn't a perfect square. So let's put root 25 as rational. And then we'll just put, so a surd like root 17, not a perfect square, can't be expressed as a fraction. And pi is also something that can't be expressed as a fraction. So this is our number system, and we use it a lot when we find the nature of roots, which I'll get into. But especially this, where if you get a negative, you can't get the negative of a square root. So that would be then you would have a non-real root. But more about that later. Okay, so let's just have a look quickly at what I'm talking about with the calculator. So say I've got my calculator here. So the square root of -3 equals, and I get a math error. So that immediately goes into the light blue, non-real, does not exist. Okay, and 9, okay, let's clear that. And 9 divided by 0 is equal to Math error. Okay, the other thing I will be going over is the Casio calculator work. Some of you have the silver calculator. I've got the computer version of the other calculator, which I'll use. I just like to use this one because I think the numbers show up a bit better in the videos. Okay, so that was the flashback to our former years, looking back to grade 8 when things were so simple. And yeah, I will see you in the next lesson where we'll be doing exponents. Thanks and see you soon.